Okay, I'm back with this lovely journal, which I am loving every time I do get an opportunity to work on it. Very grateful for this channel because between running the shop and um, creating, and then I've just been offered a new position with the facility that I work at, which will be full time. It doesn't leave a lot of room for creating, so I'm really thankful that at least once a week I can slow down and create here with you guys. And also last week I did not submit a video because I was sick. I had some kind of throat infection from my youngest daughter so I was not feeling good last week. But regardless, okay, so the next step that Nick does is she does trim the fabric to the length of her card, okay, which fortunately for me, that is exactly how long I actually cut the fabric. She does, however, here on these edges, she does cut it at a little bit of an angle, just like that. Well, minus the phrase there. You know what? Actually, let me get my fabric scissors because those scissors are dulled to pieces because I use them for opening boxes, cutting cardstock, a little bit of everything, so they are very, very used. So I'll cut this one at an angle like she does. There, see how nice that was? I love these scissors. And go here, I can't remember. There we go. And then one more cut right here. So I'm just going to do this one a little opposite, start down, maybe not that deep. There we go. And then the next thing she does is makes the headbands, which you can use, as she says, a piece of twine with cardstock folded in half over it. But what I'm going to use is this lace. I love this lace, and I like crocheted lace. I think crocheted lace and flat lace are my two favorites right now. So I'm going to create this. Let me see. All I have to do is make sure. Okay, so here you can see I've got a fray. So I'm going to just kind of trim this down. There we go. Just going to measure and make sure it's the same width. Headbands. Yeah, that's what she calls it. I hope that one's not too thin, but we're going to go with it. Because as I'm sure, nothing has to be perfect. Oh, look, I have this very secured on here, don't I? Really didn't want this lace going anywhere. Let me straighten this end up a little. Left little pieces everywhere. And then of course I do have my Fabri-Tac, which I don't know if it depends on which side is right side out. I don't think it matters. So I'm just going to make sure I get along my edges and get around there. Just make sure I get lots of good adhesion for this. And then I'm going to fold it in half. There we are. And I'm going to let that dry, which won't take very long. Very nice. Perfect. Let's set that right there, and I'll do this one. This Fabri-Tac stinks, doesn't it? Whew. And you'll see purple all over my hands because I re-dyed my hair this morning. You can see I've kind of got purple fingertips. I don't have rain-ons. I just absolutely dyed my hair today. All right, here's this. We go down here. and secure it in half, fold it in half. Perfect. All right. Now I am going to set this off to the side and I'm going to allow it to dry and probably clean off my hands. Okay, so these are dry, didn't take very long. And what we're going to do, I'm going to be gluing around these strings that I have left for dangles. I will be gluing this, she said, to leave about 1/3 of it sticking up. Now the reason I may be leaving more than 1/3 is because of the size of my, actually I think I'm gonna just glue it like that. Yeah, that makes more sense. Let those strings just hang out the top, that's fine. I'm going to make sure that when I get it in here, I don't know if you guys can see, that the top of my headband actually reaches the top of the spine, right here. That's how I would like it to be. And of course, other people probably won't. There's different, that's fine too. I am, sorry, gonna stick my head in the video maybe right here. But I'm going to just make sure that I have it where I want it. So I'm gonna pull it up just a little bit more, about right there. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and put my glue on, if I can find it. Oh, I put it up, that's funny. Okay, I'll go ahead and put my glue on here. And she said to leave that top 1/3 without any glue. And that's because we do want it to be just a little bit loose, you know, wouldn't want it to be sticking up all starchy and full of dried glue, I guess. Now again, I'm gonna lay mine where I want it. I think this is probably a little different than what she did, but oh well. And I'm gonna make sure my little strings are up. And then I have this kind of where I want it in the signature there. I mean on the spine there. There we are. Perfect. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Okay, it took, yay. Okay, look at that. Yes, okay. I mean, I could have probably scooted it over this way just a little bit, but that's fine. Oh, look, it's still gonna move for me because it's wet. Good. There we go. Perfect, perfect, perfect. And now, since I know where this one is, I can easily glue on this bottom one, folded there. Again, I'm gonna leave my dangles sticking straight down because I do plan on adding beads to that. So I'm gonna glue this. It looks like I went a little bit right like this, but just make sure laying it in here. That water in the background, I don't know if you can hear it or not, but that's my turtle tank. She's my little turtle friend back there. She's a good girl. I had her on the end of one of the other previous videos, I believe. She isn't very, she's still very, very, very skittish around people. You know, like I have to be very careful when I'm feeding her because she'll jump and hiss. It just scares her to pieces, which is really sad. I try not to do that to her. And she was a little rescue that this family had her in a cage with rock and no water at all. And she's a slider, so she has to have water. And I think she's really happy. I take her out in the backyard sometimes and let her run around. And literally she runs. I mean, she runs. That thing about turtles being slow is a total lie, because she's quite speedy. You have to really keep your eye on her or she'll be gone. Now my box turtle, she's slow. She doesn't care. Nothing scares her. She could care less. She is the epitome of type B personality. She really is. But this little slider in my craft room, she doesn't play around. She is scared to death. That is my goal, to get her used to me. So I try to handle her almost every day to get her used to me. And the next step in her tutorial, Nick the Booksmith's tutorial, is to cut the back of your inside panels. Well, I'm not going to do that because I am going to go ahead and glue this in, okay? Because I do plan on adding, I think, now this is still in the brainstorming phase, so if you guys have any suggestions, I would love for you to put them below, but I am considering putting some fabric on the inside or painting it, and I will show you. I'm really excited. I followed a tutorial from the Graphics Fairy, who I love, and one of her creators had made a fabric, like a canvas cover journal, which I won't need the canvas because I have the book, you know, I won't need that. So I'm really excited about it, and I'll show you in just a second, but anyway, I'm getting distracted. So also I just noticed I want to make sure that my book is right side up. Look, I mean, I don't think it matters probably, but whatever. What if it does? All right. So I'm going to lay this right here. And the way that Nick does it now, she said to make sure we don't have any of our pages sticking out if we don't want it that way. That now would be the time to fix that, but of course I don't. So then she opens it here. And then she has a piece of plastic here that when she puts the glue on, she just folds this back, and it's so perfect. I don't think I have anything like that. I do have something. Hold on a second, I'll be right back. Okay, I actually have a leftover Cricut mat. I do have these auto-delivered because I do a lot of work on my Cricut, and so I have these delivered, and with my old ones I quit throwing them away in the hopes that the next time I cut fabric and use you know, that roller thing, which right now escapes me, whatever, that I can bear down on this to cut my fabric with, because it did not work against this glass mat. I was pretty sad about it. So I am going to take this, and here's what Nick the Booksmith does. She just lays that on there and then puts her some glue. Look at that. We can kind of stick it on the, oh, how handy. I may have started something, you guys. Look at there. Now, this glue is being very cantankerous coming out, so it's, I guess, needle nose. I don't know. But it's pretty slow. I remember the first time I used this, it got some kind of air bubble in it, and I don't know why, but I think my hands were wet, whatever. The water got inside this bubble and it was the coolest thing. It was like an encapsulated little pocket of water. It was just the neatest thing. I wish I could have got it on video. I was actually on FaceTime with my friends though, so they saw it, and I was like, you guys, check this out. It's the craziest thing. And my hand is shaking because I'm just squeezing little. You know what? Oh my gosh, hold on. What am I doing? Hold on a minute. I actually have the bottle, so I may not need to play with that little tiny squeezy thing. Oh yeah, here we go. Da 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 da. Much better, much better. Okay. sorry for my hair being in the video, but I just do not want to put this down. So I want it to be in the center. And then I'm going to take my plastic piece. Oh yes, that worked really well. Look at that. That's very cool. That absolutely worked really well. This is why I love YouTube, because I mean, this is just so cool that you can learn all these things. I love it so much. Okay, I'll let that dry for a second. I wanted to check one more time. First off, just remember I made sure this was right side up, and then look, look how I glued this upside down. I don't even care. I'm flipping it over. Okay, so because this is going to be covered anyway, I don't care. Anyway, that was funny that I did that. But no, the reason that I stepped away for a minute was because I wanted to see if she put glue here on the inside of the spine, and she does not. She actually uses a paper clip to sort of keep it in position while we're gluing the fabric. But she does not put glue on the inside of the spine. And at first I was like, really? But if you think about it, even our books that we have now, you know, those spines, a lot of times, you know, they are not glued on there. So I'm doing what she's doing, you guys. I'm doing what she's doing. I wish I had put a little bit more glue on that, or like what she did was she used Mod Podge, it appears. Maybe I should have smeared that around with my finger a little bit. And actually, I think I may do that. Let me get some of my Mod Podge and smear that around. Because God knows I have Mod Podge. Holy cow. Every time Mod Podge goes on sale, I buy it because it can be so expensive nowadays. So I definitely have it. And I don't know if you guys know this little tip. If you have a rose bush 6 weeks after the last, or no, 6 weeks before the last frost, you can, when you are trimming your roses, okay, and you can't leave the stems cut because of this particular pest that will mill inside of your rose bush if it finds a way in. And when you trim, it's the perfect opportunity for these. And so what I do is I take Mod Podge out there with me when I am trimming my roses. And of course, this year I did not trim my rose bush because time slipped away from me, and I am going to regret it because that rose bush is huge right now. Like, I'm looking at it through my window and it is just massive. It's going to be huge, and it's loaded down with beautiful pink roses, which doesn't bother me at all. I am hoping to get some of those and dry them because all my plants are organic. I don't use any pesticide on anything. I always use natural remedies if I have a pest problem. However, I have been gardening here since 2009, and the only pest problem that I have ever had was in my cannas. I did get some kind of black leaf rot, and it was from failure to divide. So that was my fault. They were crowded, and the moisture from the rain and the leaves, it just made this big mess of rot. I'm sorry, I'm chatting. I'm trying to get glue off my finger. So I don't have a problem with that. And so a lot of my plants, all of them are organic. And so I just harvested my first sage yesterday. As a matter of fact, I took a photo of it and posted it in the Clemens Crafts and Chat Facebook group, which if you're not in the Facebook group, I certainly would love to have you. I'm trying to grow that group. As soon as we reach 100 members, gonna have a giveaway. So very excited about that. Hey, you know something else I just realized, since I didn't get that really good right there. I'm going to just because I did notice that in hers she kind of uses that putty knife to really get down in there really good. Now this time, Vanessa, remember to smear that around. There we go. Putty knife. Did you hear that? I'm sorry, it's not a putty knife. It is a little thing you use to score with. Bone folder, yes. And I have a much fancier bone folder, of course, from the bookbinding kit from Amazon, but this is the one that was closest to me, so it's on duty today. Now, what is this? Random string. Okay. So, now, here's hoping. Now, what she also does, she also leaves this little plastic to keep the wet from being on her paper, which is genius. All right, and so now we are ready to glue in this flap onto this side. And again, I do have Mod Podge, but I'm weird, and I'm just gonna use this. Now, I need another piece of plastic, don't I? Oh well. You know, I was thinking with those leftover pieces from the Cricut mats. I mean, can you imagine what kind of like tags and stuff those could make? Super sturdy tags and everything. I mean, even possibly a journal cover, because it's very, sorry, that's, I think last time I was filming, my husband was mowing. Y'all, it's his happy place, okay? And I'll tell you something, I was a single mom for 5 years. I absolutely mowed all the time, and I hated it. And to this day, if I do not have to mow, I am not complaining. If that man likes being on that mower, go for it, honey. I hate mowing, and I think I probably would have enjoyed it more if it was like, oh, I have to do this, you know. It was like that. It wasn't like something I really looked forward to. It was like, oh, another chore on top of, I think at one point I was working 3 jobs, and yeah, so I didn't want to leave this house. I didn't want my daughters to have to move, so I rented one of the bedrooms out and worked my butt off. And yeah, so here is this. I'm just doing what she did and making sure. Now, I kind of smeared that around my finger, but maybe I missed a spot or two, you guys. Why didn't I just use Mod Podge? I don't know. It's just fine. It's fine. I can just push it under there. There we go. That's fine. Everything's fine. Okay, now the next step in her tutorial is to let this thing dry. Oh wow, I got glue all over my finger, you guys. Is to let this little thing dry, which is fine with me. And I am actually going to put that right there because that is super wet. Ta-da, you guys, look at this. Our upside down journal, right side up. Here we go. We did it. We have this sucker glued in, you guys. Super excited. Okay, let me tell you my idea for the cover. Let me wipe my finger off, hold on. Okay, I'm back. So as a lot of you know, I have been auctioning like a little mad woman, and I have some vintage linens and lace. Okay, I have a lot. Anyway, I was thinking, this is a collar apparently, and I was thinking of centering it, like trimming it here, and then this is another, it's like a little front. I love this. God, I love this so much. It's so beautiful. And at first I thought about, you know, the front, like let this be the front, okay? And what I was gonna do was, in the tutorial, what she does, of course, you prime the surface, which if you're using canvas, you don't have to because canvas paper is already primed. But since I'm using a book cover, I would of course prime it like with acrylic paint or whatever, gesso, who knows. And then, I know it sounds crazy, but put this down with, glue this down, and then paint the whole thing in a very white, light gray color. And then she takes sandpaper and lightly sands over the raised areas where the fabric has the design. And it looks amazing. And then she follows it up with some wax. And I'm really tempted to try it, because out of all the journal covers I've seen, it was one that definitely spoke to me. It wasn't over the top, it wasn't too fancy, and it's one that, with a cover like that, you could go forward and make this any kind of journal. It could be a gardening journal, it could be memories, it could be a wedding journal. I mean, it could be whatever, right? And so I'm really thinking, but then when I was getting ready to show you guys, I realized that, look, if I just turn that, wouldn't that be beautiful on the spine? Wouldn't that just be awesome? And then you would have like this little design on the front. Now, mind you, I'd probably cut right here. I wouldn't want that little tab there. I'd probably trim that off. But it would be just a little peak, like that. And then I definitely do know that I like that. Then comes this. Wasn't really sure how to incorporate this. Once I have that, maybe I need to, but then look, I think that appears upside down to me. See, that seems right side up to me. Maybe I'm crazy, but no, I guess on both sides it's like that. So I guess I could do it like this. I don't know. I still have some time to play around with it, but the very next step of this journal is to do the outside. And at this point, I stopped following Nick the Booksmith, because she absolutely puts in paper here, and then she's done, because the book she used was not as dingy and terrible as this one. And so I will be doing the cover next. I'm really nervous about it, because I don't know what I'll do if it doesn't work. I mean, I guess if it doesn't work, I can just pull it off, right? And then maybe cover it with fabric. That actually helps me feel better, okay? So I'll try adhering this, and you guys let me know should I go that way or what? Anyway, I will absolutely try to adhere the fabric onto this journal, and then painting it. And look, I could have that on the spine. Look how beautiful that would be. And then this, and then just a light gray, like almost white. And then just sanding, and then using the antiquing wax to bring out the details of this fabric. It was beautiful. And but anyway, I found it on Pinterest. Yes, I did. But now see, if I do that, look, this is going to curve way up. So I'm going to end up cutting right here anyway. Somehow I'm going to end up cutting this little burr. Now I do have a lot more. I could just cut out this pattern and stick it down here on the bottom, and just leave this on the top of the spine, just leave it a very simple spine. I don't know. But I also know that when I get to the inside, I do want some lace. I want the lace to come around this. So I'm probably going to run the paint here onto the inside, so it'll cover up this. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not even in frame. I will cover that up with paint, that green there. And I absolutely would love to come in and have some lace peeking out of the top here. And then perhaps, I don't know what I'll do. I don't know. Maybe another piece of muslin. I don't know. I actually may need to put the muslin down and then this lace, so that this would be a pretty little border for that. Because as you can see, the muslin doesn't make a very pretty border. Well, or unless I fold it. Anyway, I don't know. I have a lot of time to think. So you guys, that's it for today. And I just want to say thank you for being patient with me skipping last week. I begin my new position May 28th is the last day at my current job. In the department that I'm currently in. And I do not know my schedule. I will be training for 8 weeks. And I am grateful to God for this position. Very grateful for all of you that support this channel. And thank you so much. And if you have not subscribed, I hope you do. And please like the video and leave a comment about what you think I should do about this, about this little thing down here. Okay, anyway, I'll see you guys later. Bye.